Hello, friends and followers. Here's the first Henry radio Tempo 1 that I bought, and this one never worked on 40 meters at all. And later I found it didn't work on 15 meters either. So the 15 meter problem was actually a contact in this back waver switch that was not making contact, and there was really no antenna coming into it. So yeah, rectifying way down in here, I was able to get 15 to work. 40 meters has been a real nightmare. So the way this thing works, and it takes a while to understand the mixing scheme in this thing, but I always thought these were like just peaking up the crystal oscillators, but they're not. This first gang of coils here relates to the schematic with this bunch of coils here. And if you look at the 40 meter coil, so 80 has no adjustment. 40 is the most complex coil with a center tap. Well, I guess they both have center taps. That one's simple. 40 and 20 are complicated, but 40 meters, this thing was a real bear. So I could make this work eventually with what was in it, but there was really no Q factor in this thing. It really had a very broad slope. When you tried to peak it, you could probably not peak it at all. So I ended up replacing the 200 puffs in this thing. I just replaced the 100 puff capacitors. And that enabled me at least to receive on 40 meters finally. It's still not right, but I can finally receive. So there's the 100 puff capacitors I put in. They're blue. They're all brand new. And I'm kind of learning that the capacitors in this thing just are leaky. So if you probably want good performance on all the bands, you probably want to replace any capacitors in all its tuning circuitry with new capacitors, and that would probably give you a better performing radio. Anyway, I did that. I still don't understand 40 meters, how it works here with this TC1 tuning capacitor that I've taken out because it's shorted out, and it doesn't seem like it wants much capacitance anyway, but I still don't have 40 meters working correctly. I still can't transmit on 40 meters. I can receive on it somewhat now from fixing this coil here. I can receive on it, but I still don't understand how they mix 11 megahertz and the 5.x VFO and come up with 7 megahertz. I still don't understand, because they got to get it into the passband of the IF, which is 9 megahertz. So I'm at a loss in how that works. So anyway, yeah, this next section here is, this is kind of cool because it all goes in a line toward the finals. So they did have some thinking here. And so this is the next section. Is it the last one? Yeah, I guess this is the last section here. So whenever you see TC1, that's the 40 meter tuning capacitor 1, which goes here, and mine is gone, it burned up. And tuning capacitor 2, TC2 is here. I didn't see a TC3 ever. So this section, I had to increase this guy a little bit. Yeah, C40. I took this to 330 puffs. I still can't get 80 meters to transmit and receive correctly now, but everything else works great. I can receive on 80 really well. The transmit needs some work to resonate, but boy does it receive. So that's well and good. So I'm making progress in this thing. Unfortunately, this took most of Sunday, and I can't be giving this radio much more time. So I guess I'm learning a bit about resonant coils and all that, and how to troubleshoot them. And maybe this would be good if I was building something. It might give me a hands-on approach to RF coils in general and things that resonate. I suppose that would. And I would probably become a better repair person too on these things, or technician, if I had some way like a nano VNA or something to see if the circuit's resonant. So anyway, that's about that for this thing. It sure receives well in 80 meters though. I have to give it that. So I think I'm about done with this thing for today. Gonna move on. Work is happening tomorrow. So anyway, yeah, this has been a real hectic thing. They don't seem to have a coil here for 40 meters. There's 80, 20, 15, 10. There's no coil needed for 40. So 40 is sort of a special circumstance that I got to figure out how it works. All right, I'll turn this thing off so I'll shock myself. And I'll flip it over. And we'll give it a run on 80 meters and see how it works. Yikes. One hand, flip it over, turn it down. There. I know the S meter needs to be trued. So let's turn it on, show you what 80 meters looks like. 80 meters works really, really well on this thing. There's lots of people yapping on here too, so. Anyway, it's a mess. Parts all over from fixing this thing. I gotta get the place cleaned up and forget these radios now for a while. So here's 80 meters. The meter is not calibrated, I don't think. Let me go to 10 meters here. 10 meters. Yeah, so S meter is, there's no crystal there. The S meter is needing some work. So let me turn that whilst we're on the video here and get that dialed in. There's a little knob back here that we want to adjust for the S meter. It's right here, I think. Yep, it's called 0. So let's get that thing figured out. There. I made contact with a screwdriver onto it, and all right, so it's 0. I'm not sure it'll remain that way, but for now, we know so many changes that I'm sure I've whacked something out in this thing as far as the S meter stuff, pulling tubes in and out and everything else. So let's see if we can now look at 80 meters. Go back 80 meters here. Yeah, look at all the racket on there, huh? Volume up. So there's some AM guys on here. Looks like I got some interference now. Anyway, back to sideband.
Years, and one day I was like, what are they talking about? I looked at the manual, and that's exactly what it does. It biases some of the tubes off, but yet leaves most of the receiver alive. That explains the quick return then. Yeah. That's cool. Check it out. Well, the box has got a relay in it, and that's what... I think it's 12 to 25 volts maximum, and talking about BCI, these guys got what? What is that, a 31,000 in there? Yeah, it's a 31,000 G2, and so it's not hard to find. ¿Dónde andan jóvenes? Whiskey Charlie 6 India.
So anyway, that's 80 meters on this radio number 3, tempo 1 number 3. I'm pretty happy with 80 now. Let's go to 40. 40's been a mess. I have it working somewhat, but not very well. There's 40. Trouble with 40 is when I go to calibrate here, it picks up the oscillator like crazy. So the 100 kc oscillator gets picked up like crazy here. So check this out. So it shouldn't do that, and I gotta debug why it does that. At any rate, it's not hearing a lot on 40 meters here at all. It was working tonight pretty well, but not now. Well, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, that's 40 meters. It's kind of dead. I should probably hear broadcast stations in there, but I don't. 20 meters will be dead at this time of night. It's about 8 o'clock at night. Got some interference on there, but nothing else. 15. And back to 80. All right, that's about it. Time to put the radios away and prepare for work tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is the number 3 radio, which is the first one I acquired. And it never had 40 meters working at all. It's been a real mind bender to fix this thing. It's been hell. I guess I learned a bit about capacitors that are even small, 100 puff capacitors that go bad and don't have good Q in them. So learned a bit about that, but there's a lot more debugging to do in this thing. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Have a great day.